Hi, I'm Ethan Lin, your GRT hand tools lead for the 2020 to 2021 season. This is the second of 4 videos for our gun robotics team hand tools training. In this video, we will go over the vertical bandsaws, the nylon wheels, the shears, the sheet metal brakes, and deburring techniques. The metal vertical bandsaw is used most often to cut aluminum sheet metal and box beam. Remember that saws are not precision machines. Before you use the metal vertical bandsaw, be sure to get hearing protection for yourself and for those working nearby. Also, be sure to open the vent. Again, be sure to mark your stock before cutting. Here's how to use the metal vertical bandsaw. First, adjust the height of the blade guide so that it is 1/8 inch above the material you are cutting. To do this, loosen the knob on the right side of the machine and move the blade guide up or down as needed. Then tighten. The power button is located right here. To start, add a bit of oil carefully along your cut. Then, press the on button and turn the machine on. Be sure to say loud noise before you cut. Loud noise! Slowly guide your stock into the blade. You don't need to push hard. Let the blade do the work and cut slowly. Keep your hands away from the blade at all times. You may use a miter gauge and/or a piece of sacrificial wood to push and to control the angle of the stock material. When cutting large pieces of material, have another person support the material hanging off the table while you provide the pushing force. For thick cuts, you may add a bit of oil along your cut. When you are finished with the metal vertical bandsaw, turn the machine off, close the vent, return your hearing protection, remove scrap pieces from the work table, and use the wall vacuum to clean up any small scraps from the table or floor. Do not adjust the speed on the metal vertical bandsaw unless you are working with the Mentor Carl. Operating the wood vertical bandsaw is similar to operating the metal vertical bandsaw. Here are a few differences. The obvious one is that this machine is used to cut wood instead of metal, and you do not need to use oil when cutting wood. Hearing protection may be used, but is less often necessary. There's a foot-operated brake used to stop the blade after you turn it off. The vents are located here. As with the metal vertical bandsaw, adjust the blade guide height before cutting. Then, open up the vents. Guide your wood towards this blade carefully while cutting, and use a sacrificial piece of wood and/or the miter gauge to control the angle. As with the vertical bandsaw, remember to turn it off, break the blade, close the vents, remove scrap wood, and use the wall vacuum to clean sawdust from the table and floor. We have sanders for both wood and metal in the GRT shop. The green sander can only be used for wood, while the white sander is normally used for metal. Before you use the sanders, open the vent for the sander you are using. Only one sander should be used at a time. Turn the green sander on and off. Here. For the circular sanders, stand with your material on the left side of the wheel where the sander is spinning downwards so that your piece doesn't fly out of your grip. And be sure to hold your piece flat against the table. The sanders can use the same miter gauge as the bandsaws to maintain a square face or angle. Make sure to reset the machine for square cuts when you are done. After turning the green sander off, use a piece of scrap wood to stop the rotation of the disc. Be sure the sander comes to a full and complete stop. And shut the vent before walking away from the machine. If the green sander disc is full of sawdust and not sanding effectively, use the sanding disc cleaner to remove sawdust. Do not use the cleaner as a brake. Also, do not aggressively sand sharp corners as you can damage the sanding surface. The shear is used to cut sheet metal or plastic, while the sheet metal brakes bend metal. Both are for flat stock only. Aluminum or plastic up to 1/8 of an inch thick, and steel up to 1/16 of an inch thick, no thicker. The shear is used to square material or cut it to length. On the shear, align the material using the left side ruler on the machine. Announce loud noise if you are cutting a large piece of metal, and step down on the foot pedal. The loud noise happens when the metal falls to the ground after the cut. You may need to put a lot of weight on the foot pedal to make the cut, so ask the shop buddy to help step on the foot metal. On the bender, align the sheet metal and lift up to bend the metal. You may need to overbend a little so the metal stays bent at the desired angle. Deburring is important to avoid cuts from sharp edges or burrs. Parts submitted for QC must always be deburred. There are several tools for deburring, including the nylon wheel, files, deburring tools, sanders, and the countersink drill bit usually installed on Drill Princess. Files are mostly used for larger edges and outside edges, while deburring tools are mostly used for smaller edges like the inside of box beam or holes. Do not use a deburring tool to deburr outside features as it can slip and cut you. There are two wheels. The nylon wheel on the right is for deburring aluminum, and the grinding wheel on the left is for grinding steel. The nylon wheel should not be used for aggressive grinding or deburring. The grinding wheel should never be used for aluminum. This clogs and can break the wheel. To use either wheel, turn on the switch between them, and note that both wheels turn. Be careful. Hold your material below the center line of the wheel, not above, where it can damage the nylon wheel or accidentally fly out of your grip and hit someone. While deburring, shift your piece from left to right gently to use the entire wheel surface while applying upward pressure. Metal may get hot, so it's a good idea to have a cup of water on the table to cool the metal. To stop the wheel, turn it off and use the foam pad to grip the metal axle. Be sure the wheel stop turning before you leave the area.
That does it for the second installment of our GRT hand tools training videos. I hope this video has given you a better understanding of the vertical bandsaws, sanders, sheet metal brakes, nylon wheel, sheet metal shear, and deburring techniques. If you have any questions, please ask them during class so that you and everyone can gain a better understanding of them. Stay safe, everyone, and I hope to see you all in the shop soon.